All right, good afternoon, traders. Today is January 29th, 2026. My name, Coach Carignan. I'm the lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. That's the day trading division of the Hit and Run Candlesticks family. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, everybody out there in podcast land, digital land, cyberland. Thank you for following and liking and subscribing to my content. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, let's take a look at the market today. All right, so whoa, what a big dip. Oh my gosh. What do we got going on here? All right, so we got a 10-minute uptrend coming into the close, obvious right there. Let's take a look at the 2-hour chart. And the 2-hour got themselves in a downtrend, and we got a cross right here. So we've got a bullish cross. So we'll just call it bullish. Well, we'll call it a recovery. I don't know what to call that. That's not really an uptrend, not really a downtrend. I'll just call it bullish consolidation because we're up and then we're over to the right. So bullish consolidation on the 2-hour chart. On the daily chart, let's pick up a clean one here. Try to find a clean one. Big long tail down here at the bottom. Did we make a new high? High today is 697.75. High yesterday, 697.84. So lower high, lower low. Closing over a bullish trap, or that looks like it's inside a bullish trap over the rising, excuse me, 17 EMA right there. Okay, so if we put that on the quad lines, you can see, let's just take off that trading right there. Okay, so you can see we're up here at the top of quadrant 4. Okay, that's here's our April low. Okay, so that's bullish and in an uptrend on the daily chart. Okay, on the weekly chart, we're bullish and in an uptrend. On the monthly chart, again, bullish and in an uptrend on the monthly chart. Okay, so what did we trade today for SPY? Well, we had this huge dip that I refused to trade, kind of just like yesterday. Dip, and then I refused to trade that one yesterday. Because we got up here and we're bullish again. So had a bullish bias. Just wasn't willing to trade this downtrend. Didn't think it was going to come this far. I'll tell you that. I didn't think it. I thought maybe at the all-time high anchored VWAP or at the breakup candle low VWAP, but it came in deep. All right, and where did it hit? Well, right here we have a peak between two valleys right here. Came right into, that's always a target. Okay, I should have known it right away. Came right into the peak between two valleys, found support, and then we bounced like a big school ball, like a red rubber school ball. Okay, so price action bounced out of there, got themselves into a wonky 10-minute uptrend. If you look at it on the 15, it's kind of a wonky 15 as well, but nice 10-minute uptrend right through there. Price action got up there, consolidated, and we got ourselves in an uptrend right there, and we traded the uptrend right through there for the rest of the day. Okay, so that's how I made 6K, all right there, trading the uptrend. Notice it was all calls, all right, trading SPY call, SPY call, SPY call, went long right here, all right, at the peak between the two valleys, which was support, and went long and traded it all day long. So you can see right here, calls, 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 all the green right there, all calls. A little bit on the puts, all right, but mostly all calls. And I traded some forward long with some 14 strike calls that expire tomorrow. Okay, so mostly all calls. Made money on calls all day, all right? Right after it ended at 11 o'clock right there. So that's how I made my money today on the calls with the 10-minute uptrend. Hey, my 10-minute uptrend, I'm telling you, that's my go-to game plan almost every day. Find the 10-minute uptrend. The market is bullish. Weekly's in the uptrend. Monthly's in the uptrend. Daily's in the uptrend. Find the 10-minute uptrend and trade it. That's what I do almost every day. Okay, for, I don't know, since April. All right, just find the 10-minute uptrend and trade it because we've been bullish ever since April. Again, you look at the daily chart. Here it is. There's the low. Ever since April, it's been bullish almost the whole time, except for this pullback right here in the month of November. But other than that, it's been bullish. Find the uptrend, trade it. Okay, so there's SPY on daily chart right there. Okay, let's take a look at QQQ. And we'll look at QQQ on the 10-minute chart. You got a 10-minute uptrend coming into the close on the 2-hour chart. I'm going to call it 2-hour bullish consolidation because we're just kind of left off right up here near the highs. Okay, if you notice right at the top of this resistance area right there. Okay, so 2-hour bullish consolidation. On the daily chart, I don't know if we got a new all-time high today or not. No, we did not. Okay, so we got a lower high and a lower low. No, we got a lower high, yeah, and a lower low, and we closed. Let's see where we closed. Okay, so we got lower high, lower low. We closed inside a bullish trap, just like SPY, over the wavy 17 EMA, over the all-time high anchored VWAP. That's a pink line. Up here at the top of quadrant 4, all right, here's our April low. Right here, we're at top of quadrant 4. Nothing's broken, so we're still bullish and in an uptrend on QQQ. Let's take a look at Diamond Dow. All right, Diamond Dow puts in the outside day, higher high, lower low, closing underneath a bearish trap, underneath the flat 17, still at the top of quadrant 4. Okay, that's a move up and over to the right, bull flag. All right, so here's our April low. We're at the top of quadrant 4. It's bullish and in an uptrend right there. Okay, let's take a look at IWM. All right, IWM puts in a lower high, lower low, closing underneath the bearish trap or the bearish cross, but over the rising 17. Right here in the middle of quadrant 4, that's bullish and still in an uptrend for IWM. Let's take a look at Stinker. All right, Stinker puts in a lower high and a lower low, closing underneath, let's call it a bearish cross there. Closing underneath the bearish cross, underneath the falling 17 EMA, underneath the all-time high anchored VWAP. Down here in the neutral zone, not in the upper third. So it's down here in the neutral zone. So that's neutral, still in a downtrend on FNGU, all right? Let's take a look at silver and gold. Silver puts in a new all-time high today, okay? Doesn't get any better than that. Silver, all-time high. So that's bullish. Here's the 2022 origin of this move right here. This is it's 2026, so this is a 4-year move right here. So what we got as bullish and in an uptrend on silver. Let's take a look at gold. Gold puts in a new all-time high. That's bullish and in an uptrend on gold. Let's take a look at UNG. All right, UNG kind of winding up tight here, looking for a breakout to the upside. Today's candle is a higher. Yeah, it's a higher high and a higher low, closing over a bullish trap over the rising 17. Nice to see UNG holding the higher ground for once. All right, it's been a long time since they've been able to hold the higher ground. Look at the 12-month high anchored VWAP. Have they ever been able to do this before? Nice setup, too. Nice bull flag pennant going on there. So there's UNG. That's bullish. Yeah, I'm going to call that neutral and in a bullish uptrend right there. Okay, so that's neutral, no longer in the lower third. So that's neutral and in a bullish uptrend, closing up there at the top inside these wicks. So that's UNG. Let's take a look at USO. All right, USO definitely bullish. Finally made its way to the upper quadrant here. It's been a long time for that one too. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4 months. Finally found its way back to the upper quadrant. So that's bullish and in an uptrend. Can it hold the higher ground, or is it going to give it up just like it always does? UNG is looking good. USO yet to be seen. All right, let's see if they can hold over the upper third. Okay, so a pullback to the upper third area, like maybe 75.56. I'd hope to see a J hook off of there to back up into quadrant 4, or at least linger over all of this consolidation right here. Okay, so there's USO on the daily chart. That's bullish and in an uptrend. Let's take a look at T2101. And that's right here. Participation. Well, I'm just going to, as compared, this is yesterday. And we got a lot of participation over yesterday. Some of it on the way down this morning, because this was the way down. And this was the way up. We lost participation on the way up. All right. So, kind of like to see increased participation on the way back up, and we didn't quite get that, but we did get a little bit more participation today than we did yesterday. So there's T2101, T2122. Well, we found our way. We found a bottom in the seller's chop zone, and we wind up closing inside the buyer's chop zone. That's a bullish outlook for tomorrow. Lots of little micro higher lows here and little mini higher highs, finding our way back into the buyer's chop zone. I like that. I like that they're in the bullet. They're on the bulls side of the 50-yard line right here. So I like that a lot. I like the little micro higher lows. Would have liked to see a higher high than this right here. I'll take what I can get right now, but it's bullish, not completely sold. It's still underneath a trend line. You could probably draw a trend line right from here all the way down. So I'd like to see us break this trend line that goes from this high down to, this peak right here and extends on through. Okay, but we're in the buyer's chop zone at the end of the day, and most of the day we spent inside the seller's chop zone. We never made it to the sell zone or the oversold zone. Maybe that's tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. All right. I like the idea of us ending up inside the buyer's chop zone. Okay, let's take a look at T2123. Okay, so today's price action, look at that high up there. Okay, so we're on the 15-minute chart. A little bit of green, red, green, red, green, green. We left off. We made, there's a low. We made a lower low. Okay, so there's a high. No higher high there. But, get this. We got a high here. And look here. We made a higher high. And you can see we made a higher high. So we're left off in an uptrend. There was a downtrend right through here and right through here. Okay, but we left off closing with a 15-minute uptrend on T2123. Look at us bull flag right over that rising 200 SMA. I got no problem with that. All right, so that's T2123 on the 15-minute chart. Let's look at the 3-bar chart. Okay, so price pulls back. Here's our April low. That was the all-time high right up over these numbers here. Okay, then we pulled back to this neckline. Okay, so then we found support at the neckline, and then we rallied back up over the flat 200, only to turn around and do a measured move up here to make a higher high. All right, to make a new all-time high. So price consolidating up here at the all-time highs. I like that. That's bullish. All right, that's like I'm gonna say it's like holding a chin up or sit up or planking for all that time. Okay, all those days or all those 3-bar candles. You can see a little bullish gap up. See these open gaps. So the bulls are in control here on T2123. Look at them bring the price up and hold it up there at those all-time highs. So still bullish in the market, T2123, okay? Still a little bit bullish. T2122, we saw that. Lost a little bit, but found our way back to the buy zone. T2101, losing a little participation right here. Maybe we can win them back over. T2123, clearly bullish with the bull flag over the rising 200 SMA. All right, so let's take a look at Stinker on the 15-minute chart. And on the 15 does, well, we left off, we made a high. And then we made like a little micro lower low right here under the 17. And we're in an uptrend. So we got a 15-minute uptrend. And look at them close over that falling 200 SMA. So it was nice. Okay, they recovered that. Okay, so we're up on top of that that 15-minute 200 SMA. Hope they can hold this area. Start tackling this all over again. We'll see what happens. So we got a higher low for once. Okay, got a higher low. I would like to see the bulls get inspired tomorrow and start working on the next higher high. Okay, here on this 15-minute chart. Maybe make their way back up to here. Now, that's not going to be in one day. All right, but I'll take it if they want to do it. But I'm going to say give them another week, and I think they could probably find their way back up here to the all-time high anchored VWAP based on the higher low here if the bulls get inspired. I don't know if they will or not. Okay, so we're left off on a 15-minute uptrend. Okay, on the daily, still in a downtrend. Okay, so that's FNGU on the 15-minute. All right, that's it for me for today. I've done the technicals. I did the commodities. That would be the precious metals and the oil and gas. We went through the indexes. All right, and tomorrow's expiration Friday. So we'll see what they got in store for us tomorrow. Thanks, CP. Today was a tough day. If you decided to buy the dip on that, pullback in the, where is it? In the SPY. So let's go to the SPY. Let's look at it on the 10-minute chart. So big, deep pullback. Did not see that coming. But that was a violent pullback right here. And what a rally back up. All the way back up here. So really nice. Would have liked to see him take it a little bit higher. Maybe do the gap fill thing. Maybe that's coming overnight. We'll see what happens. But there's SPY on the 10-minute. Again, deep pullback. When you see this and it's coming down like that, it's going to find support and bounce. All right, when it just melts off like this, it can continue this forever. All right, that 45-degree down, all right, it can just melt through everything. All right, it can continue with that forever. But when it gets like this, it can go for a while. I'm going to tell you, okay? But when it's like this, you're probably going to get a nice size bounce. And we did right here at the valley, at the peak between the two valleys right there. Okay? Whenever you see a peak between two valleys or a valley between two peaks, probably be a target. And look where they came back. Okay? You got a little valley between two peaks. Here's the peak between two valleys. And where did they come back to? Right there. The valley between two peaks right there. So most likely these are targets, all right? If you're ever trading and you're wondering what your target's going to be, first it's going to be VWAP, but then look around. You might see one of these or one of these, all right? And price will probably be headed towards it. All right, that's it for me for today. I'll see you guys all tomorrow at 8. Let's do it again. All right, I'll see somebody tonight. Chris, tonight, 7 o'clock. All right, I'll call you on Teams. All right, everybody, thanks. Have a wonderful evening.